And these are contrary, the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. But if ye be led of the Spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication.
But you guys are all in adultery and fornication. Read Romans 2. You who say you don't commit adultery, you commit adultery. You say you do not worship idols, you commit sacrilege.
Lasciviousness, idolatry, witchcraft, hatred,
You come and battle us, come battle the cause without that damn megaphone.
Yeah, that's right.
Speaking over the word of the Most High. You're the devil, man.
That's right.
You're the devil.
That's right.
Go ahead, God.
Idolatry, witchcraft, hatred, variance, emulations, wrath, strife, seditions, heresies, envy.
Sedition is you having to choose a team. That's a created sedition by society today in particular. You have to choose the Patriots or you have to choose the Eagles to go against. Whether you, people don't realize it, whether you like the Eagles or the Patriots, if you don't like them, you've chosen a side there too. But that's the cause that enmity with the Most High God.
God, it's all psychological. You know, even if you don't like the NFL and you like, oh well, I don't want the Patriots to win. Now you like, oh, well, I'd rather want the Eagles. Right? You already lost it.
Right. You chose already.
Right. This 21, envyings, murders, drunkenness, revelings, like we just talked about.
Things of the flesh.
Right.
All the things of the flesh would have you to do. Versus the spirit not having you to do those things. Walking in the ways of Yahushua, what the spirit would have you to do.
And such like, of the which I tell you before, as I have also told you in time past, that they which do such things shall not inherit the kingdom of Yahweh. But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, temperance. Against such there is no law.
Yeah, but what does it say? But that's to your fellow believer. That's not man, that doesn't mean you go out and kill your enemy. That doesn't mean that. That's not time for that. That means the fellow believers, you take those positive or those less offensive ways of life toward them, modes of attitude toward them. You know? Like the damn demon, you want to come over here and cause contention or whatever else. You know, and we didn't battle. You know, you don't want to.
Yeah, those are deep. Those are Satan's little minions, man.
And he only said that for one guy that was like, oh man, they really read the word. You realize that we got Bibles out here and they don't have them. He walking around quoting, misquoting at that, giving false interpretations of the scripture. So the guy was like, damn, he did like this because he could feel what we was talking about.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You err not knowing the. We're in the middle of reading the scripture. We're reading, and he's just speaking all over the scriptures, showing you that this devil, he really don't have respect to the word of Most High, man. Satan is on him to basically combat what we're doing, and he feel like in order for him to get
upper hand,
he got to speak on that loud ass megaphone, because he's afraid. They're afraid of dealing with us face to face in the word.
You can do it quietly.
They could put those things down and we could go back and forth in the word, but that's what they're afraid of. Because they know about us. All them different Jesus fanatics out there, they all know about us, man.
That's right.
And they know you ain't gonna win if you have a reasonable debate with those guys.
Right.
So you gotta come with those childish tactics and scream and chant, you know what I'm saying, and repeat yourself.
Turn up the microphone.
And turn up, make your voice all extra loud so that nobody can hear what those men gotta say. You know? That's the devil, man. You know? But that's all good. That was just Satan trying to disrupt the word, but you can't disrupt this word, man. All right?
And everybody, it's like the last thing I said about it, everybody that walks by them is like, hey, get that fake shit out of here. When they come by us, they put their head down, like, that's the real over there. Like, they know the difference.
Yeah.
But the obvious difference is we're reading and holding Bibles. You walk around with a big ass sign and no Bible. Somebody can ask for a scripture, but they know you can't even kind of quote it, but you can't actually read it. Anyway.
Go back.
Yeah, Galatians, right?
Yeah. Where'd you move up at? That's it.
That's it on that?
That's it. Get back to
First Peter chapter 4, I'm going to start at verse 2. It says that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men, but to the will of the Most High God. For the time past, our life may suffice us to have brought the will of the Gentiles. When we were doing things of the world, we were going to these Super Bowl parties, celebrating Christmas, Easter, and whatever else. But we didn't know that was enough. That was more than enough. Now we have to come back and seek him 10 times more. Right? It says, when we walked in lasciviousness, lust, excess of wine, all this stuff going on tonight too, right? Revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries. Because there's a trophy of idolatry that's getting passed out at the end of the night. You know? And then there's the whole energy
all
of
these
my
different
team.
parties.
Yeah.
It's all banquets celebrating those idols.
Yep.
Okay? So these are abominable idolatries, man. All those different parties are abominable idolatries, man.
That's right.
And it's full of banqueting, it's full of
revelings, excess of wine.
Because you already know what's provided in these parties. Drugs, alcohol, a bunch of women. So you know that environment, that mix, you know, you put that all together, that's what you get.
Yeah. What does all of those things work against your flesh?
Yep.
To control your flesh. And to keep your spirit away from it. From controlling your flesh.
Hey, and this was the same energy going back to the Roman Empire. Man.
Right.
All their idolatrous feasts had this same atmosphere.
Right.
Getting drunk, you know, into their idols, their deities, whether it be Bacchus, you know, those Jupiter, Zeus, all those different idols going back then that they were worshiping or celebrating. The same atmosphere, man.
Right.
You know. Go ahead.
It says, wherein they think it strange that you run not with them to the same excess of riot.
You ain't coming. You're not about to hit the Super Bowl, man.
You don't like football?
You gonna come to the party?
What about the wings, though?
Yeah, something ain't right about you. You don't like football. You don't like chicken wings? You don't like bacon? You ain't drinking no beer today? Man.
Where you watching the game at?
Yeah, that's what they say. Where you watching the game?
Who you going for?
Yeah.
Who you got the game?
What's your favorite team? Who your team? Oh, for real?
That's just the same vibration that the world will push on you. And like I didn't came up with sayings for people. I mean, most of them freestyle, but I'm like, man, I don't even like football. I don't like sports. Like, you look like an athlete. I just saw you playing ball last week. Yeah, I don't like to watch it. Right? I do it for exercise now. They're looking at you like something wrong with you. You know? If you really look at something like this is what y'all do for the Super Bowl game when we started.
It just started like 5 minutes ago, yeah.
You see the crowd died down? They're looking at you like something wrong with you because you ain't inside watching the game.
Yeah, I'm expecting somebody to come up. Hey man, why you're not going to watch the game? It's on right now.
Yeah.
No, man. We're not of this world.
So y'all got the score? Somebody gonna ask. Y'all got the score?
Oh yeah, or give us a update.
Yeah.
Like we.
They just scored a touchdown, man. It's something. How many wings you mean? 20? Something? It says,
I think this is strange. Like the scriptures are saying. It's strange, man, because we're not walking like them.
Hey, that's why I started with when we went back and read it about the days of Noah, because they were all distracted with BS in the days of Noah, off doing all the wickedness that they do according to their flesh. But then what happened? The flood came upon them unawares. But who was ready? Noah was ready. But when he called his kids to be ready and their wives, they all got ready and went on into the ark. Missing the miracle that he had all them animals come up in that ark before they closed it all up. You know, well, we see the miracles and these prophecies happen.
The thing with the American people is y'all too busy on pleasure. Y'all don't know when to become serious. You know, the games, like the script say, when I was a child, I spake as a child. But when I became a man, I put away the childish things. You know, y'all can't do that. You know, y'all stuck on oh, I need to have fun now. I need to please the flesh now. We working so that we can get the pleasures in the kingdom.
That's the
Right. Y'all worried about it at the wrong time periods. Having fun now is gonna get you killed later.
Yep.
Us doing this work, being about our Father's business, Lord willing, will get us salvation out of here.
It says, the scripture says, laugh now, for you shall mourn and weep.
Kind. And that's exactly what's happening.
Woe is it woe to you that laugh now? Yeah, woe to you that laugh
for
now.
you shall mourn and weep.
For you shall mourn and weep.
Kind. That's exactly what it is. And that goes with everything though. That goes with the demonic music. Y'all can't say that ignorance is what it is. Say ignorance is bliss. You can't use ignorance as an excuse in that day. Because you got brothers everywhere in the world preaching. If you got a smartphone, you ain't gonna have no excuse.
Hey, Hurricane Harvey was a serious sign to you people.
Right. You got, and the Most High ain't playing. You just got I believe it was parts of Australia that flooded over. You know, and there it looked like it's a sea over there. The Most High flooded that place out. Brothers uploaded clips of it like 2 days ago. They driving big rigs through it because can't no little cars get through. It looks like a sea. You think the people in Australia right now worried about the Super Bowl?
Right.
Nah, I don't think they are. They worried about how they gonna get the water out by their cribs.
And what about them people over there in was that North Carolina?
Right.
It was another Amtrak collision.
Oh yeah, kind of last night.
Crash that happened last
South
night.
Carolina.
South Carolina, man. 2 people got killed and like 70 people injured, man. The Lord ain't playing with you people.
Did one in Washington? Hey, matter of fact.
And they had plans of getting to where they was gonna get to their destination so they could watch that game. The Most High got their ass laid up in the hospital now.
Hey, bro, wasn't it in Oregon or Washington State that the train had a crash last time? Isn't that the same path from Washington State to South Carolina with a cliff went?
I'm not sure.
The cliff went from like Washington
Yeah,
to South Carolina.
It did.
Yeah.
Well, it ain't a coincidence, man. I just got chills. It's not a coincidence that there's 2 train crashes in both those places. Where the eclipse passed through, straight across America. These are things that you people don't see. The fact that whether I'm wrong or not, the point that we're looking at things spiritually like that is the difference between the way we look at it and you just saying, oh, news that I don't want to pay attention to read. Bad, negativity that I don't want to be a part of. Well, negativity is going to come at your front door, man. It will come right before your face and snatch you up in it, and you ain't going to know how to prepare. That's
right.
Too late.
You're scared to take the negative when the negative is going to meet you, like the brother's saying.
Yep.
It's going to be a time where you hungry. It's going to be a time where you starving and you're going to look at your little kid for food.
Yep.
You know, it's going to be a time where you sick, ain't got the medicine because all the pharmacies is closed.
Yep.
Because you got martial law troops around you.
Yep.
It's going to be a time where the chariots of heaven is going to appear.
Yep.
And you're not going to have no work. You know? You ain't going to have nothing to say unto the Lord, Yahweh Shai.
Yep.
You know, all these times is coming, but y'all stuck on whether a nigga could catch a pig.
Yeah, that's what it is. Let me go back to 4:4. It says, wherein they think it's strange.
It's a lot, bro, because this could easily be the last Super Bowl.
Yeah.
This is only February.
Yeah.
January was a deadly month.
Yeah.
January was a deadly month, and it's only getting worse.
Hey, half the country froze over in January.
Now you got more floods.
Yep.
Man, it's a deadly month. Y'all was ain't playing. Go ahead, bro.
Some more wildfires in Phoenix now.
Kind.
California got burnt up, then it got flooded out.
Yep.
Now the wildfires is rushing over there in Arizona now, man.
Yep.
So the Lord, He's still bringing His judgment.
Man.
You people still can't see it.
Still can't see it.
But that's beautiful though, man.
Yep.
You're a bunch of trained, mindless idiots, robots, man.
Gross darkness.
And gross darkness. You know?
Hey, the brother Yakanel would always say, every generation had their big deal. But this one ain't had nothing yet. But it's gonna get the biggest deal.
Yep.
It's gonna get the biggest awakening, the biggest tragedy in this generation. Because you guys think nothing can happen, or we're used to seeing that there was a bear killed 5 people, or lions or something, or a flood this, and then fires that, and an earthquake here swallowed up in sinkholes. Yeah, you think that's all cool. But when this generation really gets hit with the heavy that's coming from, that's when you're gonna realize this was your moment, and it was the biggest moment ever. You missed it. I don't mean missed it like you didn't tune in. I mean you didn't get salvation from it. That's how serious this big moment of this generation is gonna be. And the middle Lord out there trying to prepare for it so they can get up out of it. While the rest of you, we're going to watch you all get destroyed. Everybody we see out here, we're probably going to watch them get destroyed. 9 times out of 10, we're going to watch them get destroyed.
Procrastination is going to kill you. Especially y'all that's on the fence and don't want to come in the fold because you're scared to get that responsibility. That's going to kill you, man. Unless the Lord sees that you're going to come in. If you just on the fence, it's going to kill you. Because the times are speeding up. It says the day is going to be shortened for the elect's sake, and the elect are getting sealed. We just talked about the days of Noah, how the ark is closing, where the spiritual ark is being closed. You don't be worried about the folly that's happening. Folly is going to get you in a confused state of mind. Folly is going to get you unfocused. You know, these are only prophecies and occurrences around the world is what's going to get you tuned in with the spirit. You're not going to worry about the things of the flesh when all prophecies are happening. You're going to worry about getting the wisdom and knowledge put in you.
And you know what? Days like this is the best days for the elites to work their hidden hand. Legislations get signed, executive orders. Okay, they could be doing anything right now, man.
They still shooting.
Yeah, of course. That's everything. That's all day. Man.
Know what I'm saying? The devil ain't taking no break for no Super Bowl.
Anything can happen right now, man.
They laid that down thick before. Long enough time to get home, shower, cook up their wings and pig skins and nachos and enjoy the game themselves if they care to.
Hey, like them people back in October down the street. One day in this spirit, they was being entertained and they were drinking. And what happened? What happened, man?
Sudden death came upon them.
Come on, man. It could come on you like a thief in the night, man. That's why you got to be aware. You got to be, scriptures tell you to be vigilant, man. Be circumspect. Not as fools, but as wise. Redeeming the times because the days are evil. All right? And if you're not walking and being circumspect, meaning being watchful, you're going to get caught to your surprise, man. Okay? And then when it finally happens to your ass, you're going to be trying to scratch your head asking for answers. You know? Why is this happening? You know, what could we do? Ain't shit you could do. You know? You can't ask that question when you behind that gate with the barbed wire fence on it. You can't start asking these questions. It's too late. You're already behind the fence.
We're not talking about regular people. We're talking about FEMA. For you so-called innocent people that you want to believe you're innocent of something. When this government throws your innocent ass right into concentration camps.
Yeah, man. But you see, the reason why the majority of our people is in this state is because of what the scriptures tell you about Babylon. Babylon is given unto pleasure and is careless. So the vibration of Babylon is in association with the spirit that the people is going to be. Okay, this is just an ultimate example of Babylon being under great pleasure and security, man.
Yeah.
What word you brought up?
Decadence. Yep. All right, given to pleasure, given to entertainment. You know, luxury. You know, over busy with shit that's trivial.
Yep.
You know, just like going back to Rome. Hey, the reason why they had it like that, where they was able to set up those, amphitheaters and all that, and they set up the Colosseum. It was because the money that they generated throughout those wars, they was able to actually build these different places of entertainment. Mm-hmm. And when they did it, usually, like for example, the amphitheater, they took what they took from the temple in Jerusalem. When they took out all the gold and all the, the
precious gold,
metals
and stuff,
all the different materials in our temple, that was worth a lot of money. When they took that, they took it and they financed the amphitheater. Mm-hmm. Okay, And they built that up so they can what? Be entertained.
And that's the same thing as the media doing, so they can push propaganda upon the people and get their mind in a certain direction.
Yeah, so
what's that direction? The direction of distractedness, so they can push their agendas.
Yeah, that's what I was getting to.
Yeah.
So when they would actually have these different, gladiator games, they would have different, stage events and stuff like that. Well, they would do this as a tactic to basically shift the people's minds and basically get them distracted from the things that would happen geopolitically and economically, and as far as that empire, man. They didn't want the people to panic that their economy was collapsing, that their military was spread too thin. Basically that their empire, their society was crumbling. So they had to keep a way to keep these people distracted, man. Keep them preoccupied. Keep them mindless. Busy. And that's these people,
busy
man.
Bullshit, though.
Yeah.
Hey, that was now. Don't get me wrong.
That's a device of Satan, man.
I was just gonna say that's a perfect tactic to use. But you forget those that have used that tactic before. All those empires crumbled, man.
Yeah.
Rome got destroyed. Rome fell with a deadly wound. It came back, but the rebirth of Rome, which is America now, and this whole structure of America, and these Edomites running this system, they're gonna crumble again too. Let me wrap this up because now I gotta look to verse 7. It says, wherein they think it strange that you run not with them to the same access of riot, speaking evil of you. Who shall give to him that is ready to judge? Excuse me. So like it says, who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead? It says, for this cause was the gospel preached also unto them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to the spirit of Yahweh Shai Mashiach. It says, it says, according to the Most High in the Spirit, it says, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. Tying in what you was saying. This is the end of all things is at hand. Y'all worried about chicken wing or the chicken wings overcooked? Is the sauce too spicy? How much ranch we got? We got enough salsa and chips? How much beer? Is the beer cold? Who went in the game? How many touchdowns? How many receiving yards? Y'all worried about all the BS, not realizing all these other countries is about to lob missiles and bombs over here on America. That's the Hail Mary that's coming over here. The Hail Mary play that's coming over to America with missiles to destroy America. You have something that you want to bring out?
Well, I kind of pulled up something about the United States of America is decadent and depraved. And it's just like the Roman Empire.
I gotta look that word up.
Depraved. And somebody get that in Isaiah about America given to pleasures. Because that's what it was about in Rome. Just being given to your pleasures. Decadence means you're overindulged and luxury. You got abundance of so many different things that you could just wild the fuck out. You can waste shit. You know what I'm saying? And you get to the point where your attitude is, hey man, I could do what the hell I want because I got so much.
Was that Jay-Z or was that like, I think it was Ludacris, if I remember, it said, it ain't tricking if you got it.
T.I.
It's the same, it's
I think so.
One of them, right? But that's the same decadent perspective. I got so much money, I can afford to waste something. Well, that's the mode of America. America's wasting a lot of the resources. 40% of the food, is it 40% of the food, right? And America is wasting. We know it's gotta be more than that here in America with these buffets. I look at shit when I go to these buffets. A lot of shit that I go to, I'm not touching that shit. Nobody's touching that shit. It's nasty. They take it right to the back and throw that out.
Yep.
They don't give it to nobody that would eat it, they just throw it out. Oh, I got depraved. Let me read depraved, because I don't know if it's in that thing. It's a depraved, morally corrupt, wicked. So some of the
We just talked about morals at the live stream.
Yep.
You know, morals, the true morals or morality comes from the scripts,
Yep.
the laws, statutes, and commandments. You know, not just the 10, but the Levitical laws also talk about the dietary, going to all of them. You know,
Yep.
it's not just 10. Is it more?
Yep, it says, well, it's the synonyms, right? It says corrupt, perverted,
Wait, are those? Oh, kind.
synonyms,
Right.
yeah. Corrupt, perverted, deviant, degenerate, debate. It sounds like describing Esau. Degenerate, debased, immoral, unprincipled, debauched, right?
That's it. Unmoral.
Yeah,
Like debauchery.
yeah, debauched.
Yep.
Indulging in or characterized by sensual pleasures to a degree perceived to be morally harmful,
Kind.
destitute.
Lust of the flesh.
Yep. What about the Epicureans were like, right?
Yeah, it was about pleasure. Yeah.
Yep. It says immoral, unprincipled, debauched, destitute, licentious,
Licentious.
like yeah, so licentious. What's this word? How do you say that?
Lecherous.
Lecherous, like a lech.
Yep.
Lecherous, indecent, soaring, wicked, sinful, vile. These are words. Nefarious, twisted, sick.
And that's and every desire that you could think of, it takes place here in America, man.
Yep.
All right. Basically, Esau allows it here.
And if it don't,
That's what it means by land of the free. You're free to be a goddamn pervert, a demon, a deviant, a freak, man. You could be a homo, a lesbian, transgender, you know, and pretty soon a pedophile. You could do all that here in Babylon. You could pop pills, you could take drugs and be a goddamn witch. You could sell, you know, you could do whatever, man.
I was gonna say, and if you think that stuff's not going on in your city, or even if it's not, it's for sure all going on here in Las Vegas.
And it is going on in your city.
And it is. Just you're just too low level to know about it.
There's no discipline in the society, man, at all.
No responsibility.
No discipline, no self-control, man, no temperance, man.
Yeah.
Everybody is just overdoing it, all right? And doing what's completely immoral in the eyes of the Most High, all right? Hey, well, that's how Rome felt, doing the exact same shit. And Rome went down, okay? But Rome came back, and we in the midst of it right now, all right? So I want to get this real quick. It's from International, man. It says, Decline of Empire, Parallels Between the U.S. and Rome, Part 1. It says, as some of you know, I'm a aficionado of ancient history. I thought it might be worthwhile to discuss what happened to Rome, and based on that, what's likely to happen to the U.S. Spoiler alert, there are some similarities between the U.S. and Rome. But before continuing, please seat yourselves comfortably. This article will necessarily
collapse over when you realize what's going to happen.
This article will necessarily cover exactly those things you're never supposed to talk about, religion and politics, and do whatever. So like, and do what you're never supposed to do, namely badmouth the military. It says Rome reached its peak of military power around the year 107 when Trajan completed the conquest of Dacia, the territory of modern Romania. With Dacia, the empire peaked in size, but I'd argue it was already past its peak by almost every other measure. The US reached its peak relative to the world, in some ways its absolute peak as early as the 1950s, which that was around the time when the North Atlantic Treaty Organization was formed. Right after the Cold War, that's when the US built this military and got allied with the armies of the European Union, and they formed NATO to counter the Soviet Union. So that's when America pretty much put a lot of its money and resources into its military. Okay, and they're still doing that to this very day. Okay, It says in 1950, the country produced 50% of the world's GNP and 80% of its vehicles. Now it's about 21% of the world's GNP and 5% of its vehicles. Yeah. It owned 2/3 of the world's gold reserves. Now it holds 1/4. It was a by
2/3 to 1/4, you said, right?
It says now it holds 1/4. Yeah, it owned 2/3. Now 1/4.
And that was the majority, over 60%, 65%, down to 25%.
Yep. It says it was by a huge margin the world's creditor, whereas now it's the biggest debtor by a huge margin.
And the world's creditor, meaning it gave credit to people came to them for money. Now they're in debt to everybody,
particularly China.
Yep. These are the similarities between ancient Rome ancient Rome and America, right? Similarities.
Yep. It says.
I was hoping that was
It says the income of the average American was by far the highest in the world. Today it ranks about 8th and it's slipping. But it's not just U.S.
That type of shit was going on in ancient Rome.
Oh yeah, sick shit, just sick ass shit, man.
I'm describing, y'all don't need to see that.
We're talking about the depravity of Babylon, man.
Yeah.
All right, debauchery.
All out wickedness, man. If a fucking man walking around with somebody on a leash in a cat suit, right? I thought it was a woman. I was like, damn, okay. It was another man.
Yeah.
Crazy. Probably a sex toy or something. It's crazy. These people, you don't.
And you can do that here. You can do that here. Esau give you license to do shit like 2 men to walk around like that, man. All right. The brother just looked up the word depraved.
Yep.
This place is depraved, man. The scriptures tell you in Isaiah 19, the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst of Egypt.
Yep.
Yep.
And that's that perverse spirit, man.
Yep. That's this Egypt too.
Yeah, this is Egypt, you know. So going back, it says, but it's not just the U.S., it's Western civilization that's in decline. In 1910, Europe controlled almost the whole world politically, financially, and militarily. Now it's becoming a Disneyland with real buildings and a petting zoo for the Chinese.
Yep.
It's even further down a slippery slope than the U.S. Like America, Rome was funded by refugees from Troy, at least in myth. Like America, it was ruled by kings in its early history. Later, Romans became self-governing with several assemblies and a senate.
Yep.
Later still, power devolved to the executive, which was likely not an accident.
Yeah, because that happened back in before 1776, when they had all of the councils, until they finally came up with the rules, and then they came up with the presidency. Not long after that. They start, even though there were men that were the top guys that were giving the orders, usually a military general, because in early America, they were just like Rome. Early America, it was founded on the top by military. So those military personalities or leaders were the ones that were calling the shots. If you didn't like it, they executed judgment with the military. Well, America's the same exact way now. Same exact way now. That's why Trump was calling for the military in his State of the Union for them to up the military, the military might, so he can go back to ruling the way he wants. Why do you think they're going to allow the military to